Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I can't believe, what is 2020? That's all I have to say. Like, what is even happening? This year has been insane. It's just been the craziest year for everyone. As you can tell by the title, I've been going through the worst moment of my life. And I'm not sitting here in front of a camera for people to have pity for me, but I have documented unfortunately another sad moment in my life when I had a miscarriage last year. This has turned into like a way of me having an outlet, and especially now that I feel so alone and abandoned. And this is more like a diary for me. And I hope that in the future I'll be able to just look back and see growth from this moment till then. But right now, it's so hard. Okay, so let me start with my relationship with my ex. Met in high school around sophomore year, I think, between our mutual, well, now she's both of our best friends, but at the time she was my best friend, and then she had a class with him, and he was like, hey, who's this girl? I really like her, can you introduce, and whatever. So she did, and I wasn't into him at all. At the time, he kept pursuing me like we were high school kids. He just kept coming after me, always coming to my locker, always being around. I ended up going out with some other kid for, I think, a year it was. And he just, during that time, he became my best friend. Even though I had a boyfriend, he was always there for me, always there for me. Like I said, we became best friends. So my relationship with this guy ended a little after we started dating. I love that we were best friends more than anything, and then we became lovers. Years passed by, and when we made 9 years together, my son was born. And then I had a miscarriage in February. 5 months later, I was pregnant with my now 5-month-old. Well, he's about to be 6 months old in a few days. And our relationship we've never been perfect like every other couple, but we were pretty close to that. Like, we never fought. We had petty fights, like, pick what you're gonna eat, please, or like little tiny things. Never anything big. We were always, like I said, best friends and lovers. We told each other every single thing. So the pandemic happens, and we're in New Jersey, and things were horrible here. When I had the baby, it was at its worst, at its peak. He starts working a lot more because they start laying off people were furloughed, so he's the manager and he had to step up and do a lot more. This is just like a shock to me. It's something that's been going on for the past month, that it's something that like I found out a month ago. It's just a complete shock to me that this has happened to me, especially with these two kids. But like I was saying, the pandemic happened and he had to take more time to work. We were seeing less of him. And then the summer came, we were just not seeing him at all. Like, his days off, like everyone, most people, he had 2 days off, but they always switched around. They never had the same days off. When the summer began, my best friend and I are like obsessed with the beach, and then my son became obsessed with the beach this summer. We always told him, like, we're gonna go to the beach on this day. Are you gonna be off? Or we tried working around his schedule. But let's say if I told him, when are you off next week? And he would tell me Sunday. We would plan it out for Sunday, And then the day of or the day before, he would say, oh, they're calling me into work, I gotta go to work. So basically he was never having a day off. And it was once in a while that he would actually take one day off. It started like his 2 days off, they were calling him in and he had to do little things here and there or be there for half a day. And I never thought anything of it. So that his 2 days off turned into him having maybe 1 day off and then basically not seeing him. The baby would never even see him because he would leave super early in the morning, come back at 10:30 at night. By then the kids are sleeping, the baby's asleep. So the only time he held him was when the baby cried at night. He did get up every single night to help me, even though he was so tired, but he would like hold the baby because that was the only time that he would hold him. So a little forward in July, one of our best friends gets married. A few days before, I noticed that he's being distant with me. He's one that would like always pinch my butt or come and hug me from behind and be very playful with me. Like our entire relationship, it's been like that. So at this wedding, I was like, can you lend me your phone? I want to take some pictures, because I was recording with my phone. So I wanted to take pictures at the same time. And he basically ignored me and grabbed his phone and he was taking the pictures. So I was like, fine, he's taking the pictures, whatever. I didn't think anything of it. Later on, my phone is dying and I'm like, can I get your phone to take some pictures of me and my son? He basically ignored me again. He was like, hold on. And he's texting. While the party is happening in the backyard, he steps out and I didn't realize because we were all mingling. There's a bar area, people are having fun, there's music, but at one point I noticed that he's not even around. So I'm like, what is he doing? A few days later, we go to a barbecue and we're all outside again in the backyard and he disappears. And I just like, I couldn't fathom, like, what are you doing? Why are you leaving? Why are you stepping out? Every time he would come back in, oh, it's because of work. Things started going downhill so quick because he, like I said, he stopped being affectionate with me. He would come in at night and he would just say, hey, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. Like, he wouldn't even kiss me to say goodnight. He wouldn't even kiss me to come in. He wouldn't kiss me when he was leaving. I had to be like, hey, are you forgetting to give me a kiss? 12 years together and that has never happened. So it was just so weird to me, and I just chalked that up to him being stressed out because that's what he was always telling me. I'm stressed because of work, I'm tired. So in July, I tell my best friend, like, the same girl that hooked us up and like introduced us in high school, she's still our best friend. So I asked her, like, hey, can you watch the kids because I have to talk to him, he's acting weird, like something's going on, I need to have a talk with him without the kids. And she was like, sure, fine, like, you need to do this, go do it. We went for breakfast and the entire time I just cried my eyes off. Like, I was eating and crying. I was like, I feel like you're either cheating on me or you just don't love me anymore. And he like flipped it on me so quick. He was like, how can you say that? I'm shocked that you say that. I have so much respect for you. I would never do that to you. Like, if I were to do something or step out, I'd rather like break up with you before. Like, I have so much respect for you. I would never. I don't know, like deep inside, I always say trust your gut. And my gut was so right, because he was telling me all of this, but I'm still there crying and I couldn't understand why. And then like, I just couldn't understand it. So he was telling me all of this, but at the same time he wasn't like, I'm sorry, we're gonna work it out, we're gonna see like how we can fix things, both of us together, to make things better. He was not saying any of that. Things just kept on getting worse. Like, he would come home, go to bed, get up. He started getting up at 3 in the morning, but where he works, it opens at 7 in the morning. And he was like, I need to get up early to set things up. He was leaving at 3 in the morning. You don't need to be there for hours to set up and to open at 7 for what he does. You don't need that. Let me go back a little. I'm going a little too far. So we've always had bank accounts like our separate bank accounts, and I've always known his password, he's always known mine. Like if we need money, we transfer it to each other, we get into each other's accounts and do that, like do things that we need to do, make payments with each other's accounts. I see that there's this $75 quick pay to someone, and I've never seen that name before. So then I'm like, what is this? A few days later, 2 days before my birthday, I see that a hotel was booked. So I was like, oh, maybe he's trying to do something fun for us. Like, let's go out without the kids for one night. And I was like excited, like, yay, he's trying. Things are gonna change. We're gonna have so much fun. My birthday came and he got home late, just said happy birthday. He literally said, 2020 has been messed up. I'm sorry. Happy birthday. And he went to bed. That was it. He's someone that's always been so affectionate. He's like, for my birthdays, he would always buy me a cake, buy me gifts, take me out to eat. Like, I don't need any of that. But the fact that he didn't even think about my birthday, and for Mother's Day, he didn't give me anything either. I'm not about the gifts, but he was just like, happy Mother's Day. It was like another regular day today, and he just left to work. My birthday was like, that's it. I knew something was happening because my birthday came. I had seen that hotel was booked. My birthday came, and on that day, he changed the password on his bank account. We've had these bank accounts since we were kids, since we were like 19, 18, and we've never changed the passwords. We've always had the same stuff. And I couldn't figure out the password. I was like, what is he doing? So I go into his wallet and I see that there's this woman's business card. And I see the name of it, and it's the same name from that quick pay that I had seen a few days before. So then I start connecting things. I'm like, okay, so he's messing with someone. So I sneak in while he's sleeping and I grab his phone, and he had changed the passcode to his phone. He always had the pattern to get in, but this time he added the pattern and the facial recognition. I couldn't figure out the pattern. I was so determined. I was like, he did this, the hotel, the bank changing passwords, now his phone, I can't even get in. So I grabbed a picture from my phone and I put the phones like this, and it opened. If it wasn't for that, I'd still be sitting here like a dumbass being played, because the second that I opened it, I saw messages of that woman and him, and it was just like, oh my love, hey, how are you doing, I love you. And she was asking for money, and he's like, I promise you I'm gonna get it for you. Just acting and saying these ridiculous things that I would never think come out of his mouth. It was like midnight, and I threw the phone at him, and I'm like, I know what you're doing. And he starts smirking, and I'm like, what's so funny? You're disgusting. And he comes up to me, like I leave the room, and he comes to me, he's like, I'm sorry, yes, I'm cheating on you, and it's with someone that I work with, and I'm sorry. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, so then that talk that I just had with you a few weeks ago, you made me look like a psycho and like I'm crazy, and you were shocked and all of these things when you knew exactly what you were doing. Like, you couldn't be a man and fess up. And he was like, yeah, I know, I'm so sorry, like apologetic. I couldn't take it, so I left. So I was walking the streets at like until 4 a.m. by myself. So when I get back, I lay on the couch and he's with my son in the bed. And morning comes and he comes out and he like kneels down and he grabs me. He's like, I'm really sorry. I want to work things out. How can we move forward? And I chose to forgive him because I love him so much, and for my children. And I know they always say, don't do it for the kids. If you don't feel love, like, don't just stick around for the kids. But I love him. I love this guy so much. Like, we've been together for 12 years. And we grew up together. Like, I can't believe this is happening to me. He says we're going to work things out. And then a few days later, I noticed that he's still acting the same way. He's still going to work at 3 in the morning. So then I start looking through his emails, his work emails, schedules. I start looking through every single thing. And the entire summer, he was out at hotels. Every time that we asked him, let's go to the beach, you need to hang out with your kids, I would tell him that all the time. Like, they're not seeing you. The baby would cry because he doesn't even know who you are. Every time that we went to the beach or we went out, he was at a hotel. He usually has around Fridays and Sundays off, so they would book a hotel on a Friday. On his day off, he would be there all day, come home at night, go to work Saturday, be with her in the afternoons, come home late at night, and check out Sunday, and he would be with us maybe in the afternoon. And that was their game plan. Hotels every time that he was off. I found receipts of $200 bracelets, $90 sneakers, so many things. It's just insane to me how you were living this double life. And again, he was like, I'm sorry, you know what, let's move out of state. My sister moved to Florida, and I had spoken to her. She was like, you guys should come here. So he was like, you know what, let's start fresh. This woman works with me, it's hard, let's move. I was like, okay, let's do it. So the next day, he was so good to me. We went grocery shopping, we went to Target, we went to TJ Maxx. He was so lovey-dovey, everything was perfect. He was like, I promise I'm gonna make things better for you, and promise everything is gonna be good. And that night when we got home, I have so many questions, like, did you use condoms with this woman? I deserve those answers. It's not fair to me. Like, everything was burning inside of me. He had told me before, like the first time that I forgave him, he was like, I'm gonna ask for a transfer to another place, because I'm like, how are you gonna end this if you're still working with her? So he was like, I'm gonna get a transfer. So this didn't happen. So that was one of my other questions too that night. I was like, whatever happened to this transfer? Like, nothing's moving. Like, you guys are still working together. So I kept asking about stuff that they did and like why, and he got so upset and defensive with me. But that's his own insecurities and his knowing what he did. His own guilt was eating at him, because he was like, I have to walk. And then he comes home and he's like, I need to talk to this guy that I work with, that he's gone through the same things, and I need to clear my mind and know what I'm gonna do. When he said that, I knew in my heart that he was gonna come back and he was just gonna be done. And this makes me look so stupid and sound stupid, because I should have been the one that should have been done, not wait on him to make up his mind to see what he's gonna do with us, because he was already deceitful. It's just crazy, like crazy to me. He leaves and comes back around 1 a.m. a few hours later, and I already knew what he was gonna say. But to me, I have a feeling he went to that woman to talk to her and maybe plan things out, like what was the game plan between them, because I don't think he ever went to a friend's house to talk about this and clear his mind. So he came back and he was like, you know what, all these years we've been together, I've always been good, we've always been good, but this time I think I was able to cross that line because I don't love you anymore. That's what he had to say to me. When I have a 5-month-old, their affair started in May. He was only a month old when it had started, from what he tells me, because you don't just jump into sex with someone. I know that flirting and other things probably happened way before. Who knows if I was pregnant, because he never fessed up to any of his lies. I was the one that had to look through everything, find receipts, find everything to know what was happening. He never fessed up to it, and to this day he doesn't fess up to it. Yes, he fesses up to cheating, but he's like, regardless, all of that other stuff doesn't matter now. I don't love you anymore, I don't want to be with you, I'm leaving. So of course I'm devastated, and he's sleeping in the couch, and I'm like, I'm not gonna cut your stuff, I'm not gonna throw away your shoes, I'm not gonna do anything, because my children are here and they love you. My 3-year-old is so obsessed with him. I would never do that to him to hurt him. When I was 3 years old, my parents went through this and I remember it. I remember them fighting. I remember my dad taking me away from my mom, trying to take me somewhere else. I remember everything, and I don't speak to my dad till this day. And I don't want that for my son. I want him to have a relationship with his dad, because all of these years together, he's been a magnificent, beautiful human being, except for this one moment. And it's the moment that broke us as a family, unfortunately. I told him, I'm not gonna destroy anything. I'm gonna allow you to be in the living room, like sleep on the couch, just figure things out. Because another issue is that I've been a stay-at-home mom with those kids since my oldest one was born, and he's 3. So I've been at home for 3 years taking care of my kids, and I don't have a penny. Like, if I ever give anyone advice, have some money put away for yourself. Protect yourself, because I relied 100% on him, and I still kind of have to, because like I said, I don't have any savings. I told him, like, you take your time, find the place, and then move out. But I don't want to cause a scene. I don't want to make things nasty between us, because at the end of the day, I love you and I love my kids, but you're gonna move out. And he's like, okay. So a few days go by and he's still leaving at 3 in the morning. So I called my mom one of those days. I was like, I need to go see. Like, I knew he was already cheating on me, but I wanted to see it with my own eyes. I wanted to see things. A day before, I FaceTime him and I'm like, what are you doing? And he says, oh, I'm doing deliveries. And I see a sign in the back of his head, and I'm talking and talking because he's walking and you can kind of see it, but you don't see the full thing in frame. So I'm still talking and talking, trying to have him walk more, and he's holding his phone like this and he's walking until I see a big Best Western sign behind his head. He was like, I was delivering something at a flower shop. And I'm like, is that not a hotel behind your head? And he's like, it is, but I'm not here. I was delivering something at the flower shop that it's on the same strip as this hotel. The hotel is the same one that they would go every weekend to. So I was like, I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing. He comes home really quick, because I was about to show up to that place without telling him, and I think he knew that. He got home really quick and we had this fight and things just got bad. So like I said, I told him, like, you be in the couch and I'm not gonna create a scene for my kids. And then the next morning, he's leaving at 3 in the morning. And I called my mom, because my mom gets ready for work around 5. So at 4 o'clock, right after he left, I was like, I need to go see if he's at his job. I need to see it with my own eyes that he's not lying to me about this, at least. So we show up and there's not a soul in that place. So I was like, great. And he told me that his well, I had checked his work schedule. He didn't tell me. And it said 6 till 4 o'clock, I believe. And he had told me the day before that he was going to be there until 8 o'clock at night. So I was like, okay, he's not here right now, but we'll come back later. So I text him later on in the day. I'm like, hey, at what time are you out? And he's like, I'm out later at around 8 or 9. I show up at 6 o'clock. Again, he's already out, because the schedule said around 4. So he's still lying. Even though I'm having him here on the couch, I'm allowing him to be here. I'm being nice to him for the sake of my children, and he's still lying to me. Like, I don't understand. If you're doing this and I've caught you, why not just leave with her? He gets home and I'm like, you need to get out. You need to get out, because my life is a nightmare. I can't have you here. You're destroying me. Those two to 3 weeks was like a whole roller coaster. I couldn't believe these things were happening to me. So he moves in with one of our best friends, and things are just not right now. We're trying to work things out as parents. We're trying to co-parent, but it's so hard. I feel like I've been abandoned out of nowhere. I've been blindsided. Sorry, I had to go get the baby a bottle. He woke up. It's already 11:30. But like I was saying, I just feel completely blindsided, isolated. I just feel isolated because it's always been us. Like, I don't really have family here. I just have my mom. My sister moved to Florida. His family has always been like to themselves, so it's just always been me, my kids, and him. Like I told him, like, you have been my best friend, you've been my rock, you've been my everything for all these years, and now I have no one. Like, I'm literally completely on my own. I have friends that love me, our best friends. Like, they've been there for me. Like, they take me out on hikes with my kids. They're always picking me up and like talking to me, calling me at all hours of the night. My other best friend just called me last night at like 4 a.m. when I was breaking down. But it's not the same. Like, at the end of the night, it's just me cuddling with my boys. When you're so used to having your partner there for 12 years and now they're just gone out of nowhere, it hurts so bad. And I think what's bothering me the most is that I'm still relying on him, because even though he's gone, he's like, I'm still paying the rent. And he paid for this month's rent, and he's paying for all the bills. He's paid for the cable, for the phone bills. He's paying for everything. And every time I ask, like, I have to ask him for money because I don't have a job. I've been looking for a job, but with this pandemic, like, businesses are not fully open, schools are not fully open, and what is open, they have like the very few employees that they already had. So it's a little tough finding a job right now. And like, who is going to take care of my kids when it's always been us? My mom works. I know that his sister-in-law can do it, but she has 2 kids that she has to like do virtual school with them. Like, it's such a tough time. It's been about a month since everything started, and I'm still in shock. I'm still finding things out. It's a web of lies. Like, it just never ends. But at this point, like right now, I feel like my heart tells me that I love him, but I'm trying to tell myself that I hate him so much. And I find things out, like, he's still messy with this woman at his job, and I want to destroy her life because I know so much on her. I can do that, but I feel like if I affect him, it's always going to affect the children. Like, I'm always thinking about them. Maybe I should have been thinking about myself. I don't know, but they are my top priority, and they will always be my top priority. And like, I don't know how someone could just change in a matter of months and ruin a whole life together. So now we're still texting, but it's fully on the kids because he doesn't want to, like, from what I heard from one of our friends, he doesn't want to give me false hope, even though I know the situation. How many times can you say it to my face, I don't love you? Like, he said it a ton of times. And like I said, I keep finding things out, and it just grosses me out even more that I feel like when I see him, I'm just like I don't want anything to do with him. But at the same time, it's like I lost my best friend. I lost my everything in a matter of weeks. And the fact that I have to rely on him drives me even more crazy. So women, that's why you always have to have your jobs. If you're gonna be a stay-at-home mom, save money. Always save money. I made that mistake. I never thought something like this would happen, and I never put away money on the side for myself. And now I'm suffering the consequences of that. I've lost so much weight. Like, I haven't been eating in weeks. These past few weeks, I know exactly what I've eaten. I've eaten like half a tuna sandwich because my best friend made me. maybe like a slice or two of pizza, because they make me every time I eat. It's because someone's making me. I cannot eat. And people tell me, like, Carmen, you're losing so much weight, you need to eat because those kids need you. But I don't know if I'm depressed right now or what's happening, but I can't even eat. I can't focus because I'm constantly on my phone with people calling me, asking me how you're doing, asking me questions like, did you know this, did that happen? Like, it just never ends. It's been a month and I keep finding, like I said, I keep finding lies and things keep adding to the story, and it's just too much for me. So unfortunately, this is the update that I have to give on my life. I thought I was going to be doing more updates on my baby boy, but this is what my life has turned into. If I had like a little bit of money, I would have moved out of this apartment too, because I don't even want to be in here. I feel like every little thing reminds me of him. He took out all of his stuff already, but we've been here for about 8 years. This year we made, I believe, 8 years living here. So it's been most of our relationship here. And now I come home and it's like so quiet. Just me and my kid and my son. We had the talk with him. He's 3 years old. And he's super smart. Like, he's very in tune with his emotions, and he's very sensitive, and he's always asking me like, where's daddy, where's daddy? So I was like, we need to sit down and have a talk with him. So we sat him down and we were like, daddy's not gonna be here anymore, daddy's gonna have his own house, he's not gonna sleep with you anymore, because that was their thing. Like, he would always put him to bed, or when he was here to do that, he would put him to bed. So he was like, daddy won't be here anymore to put you to bed, things are gonna change, like, you're not gonna see daddy every day, but I'll talk to you, I'll call you every single day. And he asked him, like, why are you leaving daddy? Where are you going? He kept asking why. And I was like, do you have any more questions? And he just looked at me and he grabbed his shirt and he put his face inside. And I was like, you can ask me anything. And he just started like fidgeting and like smiling awkwardly. But I know that he was feeling something else. Like, those weren't his emotions. I've never seen him react like that. He was just hiding, and we were both looking at each other like, we know that he knows like something bigger than that is happening, because he was just being silly. He wasn't being himself. And like I said, that's what hurts me the most, that my children are not gonna live with their father. He's been such an amazing father. And until this point, things, I mean, he's still looking out for them. He's still paying for their stuff. But these kids need love. They don't need money. They don't need materialistic things. They need him, and they need his love. I hope that one day I'll look back at this and I'll laugh and I'll say, poor girl. Can't believe she went through that. But look at you now. That's like, I just want to fast forward and be at that point already, because I'm in so much pain right now. I wouldn't wish this on anybody, not even my worst enemy. I never thought that my channel was going to be so, I feel like it, when I had the miscarriage, it turned like, it was kind of sad. And then we started trying to have a baby, and 5 months later it happened. And then I was going to do updates with my son, and then the pandemic happened. Like, what is 2020? This year has been the worst. I mean, I'm so happy that I have that little boy over there, because he's such a good baby. But the rest of the year has been like, other than that, this has been the worst year of my life. But I just hope things get better. Let's hope for positivity from here on out. I just needed, like, I need to vent. I feel like when I speak, I feel so much better. That's why I'm constantly calling my friends, like, let's hang out, I need to talk. Like, I need to get this out, because this is just way too much for me. So yeah, I hope you guys never go through something like this, and remember, always protect yourself and have a little stash. If you don't work, have a little stash. If you work, always save money. I remember to always trust your instinct, because I believe in that. It's always right. I truly believe in that. Alright guys, I hope I see you in the next one, and I hope things are better, and yeah, take care.